Hello and welcome to the Techforce podcast show. I'm your host Shivani. Today we're going to talk about how developing economies are finding its ways in online talent market. Our guest for today is Maclean Bepula. Maclean is an author of 3 different books. She is founder of Entrepreneur and Creative Africa Space. She is also a performer and an artist. So let's welcome our guest for today. Hey Maclean, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm fine, and how are you?
I'm good.
Great.
So, yeah, let's get into the topic of the day. Today, we are going to talk about developing economy finding its ways in online talent market. And we have Maclean over here, and she's from Malawi. That's like in East Africa, right?
Southern Africa.
Oh, sorry, my
Yeah.
bad. It's in Southern Africa.
Actually, it's Southeastern Africa, but you're right. No way.
Okay, yeah, all right. So, Maclean, how would you like to address this topic over here?
Well, okay. Here we have a lot of people who are unemployed and haven't yet tapped into the talent market. So, um, that's the reason why when you asked me if there was a topic I would like to address, I chose this one.
All
Um,
right.
Yeah, and I know that globally, millions of people have taken up the opportunity, whether voluntarily or whether their workplaces decided to switch to remote, work, um, mode. So I'm really excited about talking about this from a perspective of not just Malawi, but emerging markets that haven't yet tapped into, um, you know, online talent market opportunities.
Yes, right. Can you tell our listeners what do you do?
Okay. Well, I consider myself a polymath, so I do a number of things. I'm a trained ICT professional and I'm an entrepreneur, so I consider myself a tech entrepreneur primarily. And I also perform stand-up comedy, and I also perform spoken word or poetry. And
Yes.
I am also an artist in other areas and an author. But
Oh,
about yeah, yeah.
yeah. So we'll like to hear some poetry from your end. Like we can do at the end of this podcast. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. Sure.
Okay. So, what is the current situation regarding employment opportunities in Malawi?
Well, I mean, there are statistics there, but and which I even researched. However, I think because collecting the data can be challenging, and a lot of people engage in opportunities like agriculture out of subsistence. Um, the data is sketchy, but over the years, the issue of unemployment is an ongoing concern. And I understand that even on the continent there's also a need, like the population of youth in Malawi alone is quite significant. I think over 50% of Malawians are under the age of 35, if I'm not correct. And so the unemployment issue is real and probably going to just get worse if it's not addressed in a very direct and concerted manner.
Okay. Yeah, as a developing economy, we need the youth to participate in this. And as like the world is going digital right now, so
Yeah.
you also work in you have the opportunity to work in the digital market right now. So like what
Yes.
Malawi as a country is doing to get into this digital world, like is are the people over there gaining any benefits from are they getting any employment opportunities like as the world is totally transforming, especially last year due to pandemic, everyone was shifted and working from home. So how was the situation over there?
I think over here, from a private sector perspective, individual efforts were made by individual companies to keep on moving, to keep on providing services and products, whilst adjusting to remote work where it was possible, or where they could have staff come in on a number of days and then work remotely for another couple of days. But I know that a number of companies did attempt to pivot towards remote uh, opportunities. However, it's not practical for uh, some businesses and for some organizations. But there was an attempt, unfortunately, because we each country has its own challenges in terms of infrastructure. So I think for in some cases that was a bit of a challenge. Like in some cases, some parts of the city or town, electricity is an issue. So they also had to find ways of having backup power in the event that the power grid was down and things like that, or internet. Some companies actually provided their staff with loans for
Yeah.
internet access setup, and also power backup power setup. So I was told. So some those that could make the investment did, and those that couldn't, had to find ways to to survive still. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right. So, like, is the pandemic like still going on over there? Like, how is the situation regarding this virus?
We've been quite fortunate. It looks like the numbers have gone down in terms of human loss and infections. However, there is concern that the third wave may come, and I think it's a legitimate concern because our winter is just starting here. So I think if we recall uh, previous winters and during this pandemic, um, there was a need for concern. There was a lot more loss during winter, at least even here. Last winter, um,
Yeah.
the numbers went, the people we lost uh, increased drastically during that time. So there's that concern. But so far, we have been lucky in terms of less people being, dying and getting infected. So we're just hoping that this won't be a nightmare.
Yeah. So I heard that Malawi has unveiled a 5-year digital economy strategy. Like I read it up online. So
Mhm.
like, uh, what are your views on that?
Um, I have actually been looking for the actual strategy, the document itself, and I can't seem to find it. But I also did see, I saw the news or whatever online where that was specified, and that they're trying to improve connectivity by the year 2026. I think their goal is to expand affordable internet by 65%. And apparently it was designed by Malawi's National Planning Commission. Um, so that sounds like the overall goal sounds really good, and I'm sure I'm one of many people who are eager to see that actually materialize. So yeah, that sounds like a good development.
Yeah.
But I mean, that news bit alone only mentioned improving connectivity, expand affordable internet by 65%. There are still a few other factors that need to be looked in, but if they can do this, I think it will make a significant difference for
Yeah,
most Malawi.
one step at a time, right?
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. So, do you have any ideas about what can be done by Malawi government or from your end, like to maximize the opportunities for economic growth using technology?
Yeah, well, I forgot to mention that though I haven't actually read the digital economy strategy that was mentioned, I think just this month alone, they lowered the price of internet by close to 30%. So we're great as a user. I think I'm definitely grateful for cheaper internet, but um, as of now, the cost is still quite high. As in, it's roughly it's 1 GB of internet costs about 2,400 kwacha. Um, the kind of internet access that doesn't expire within 31 days, and I
Okay.
think 2,400 kwacha is possibly about a little over $2, two US dollars. So for 1 GB, that is still, I think, if we are fair, quite expensive. Um, so, however, the 30% decrease in cost is almost 30% decrease in cost is still appreciated, and I think that's one thing that can be counted as an improvement that has happened fairly recently. And then also, I understand, though not officially, that the government is looking into making some sort of agencies where people looking for to get work can go and apply as an as an intermediary,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
service that they're looking to set up.
yeah.
But as is, Malawians like myself still have the opportunity to use services that already exist on the internet, like Upwork and Freelancer, or create their own places on the internet where they can pitch themselves and look for clients. So whether it means they make a website for themselves, or whether they blog about what they do on Medium and other places, and maybe get some work through that. So the internet really is a level playing field in that regard, where you can be from anywhere and pitch yourself somewhere, and as long as you can prove that you can actually do that um, to the right people, you have a chance of monetizing your efforts.
So, did you mention that you do like you have some interest, like you were developing something in crowdfunding, and like, do you have any interesting technical projects going on? Like you are working on that right now?
Thank you for
Uh,
asking, Shivani.
yeah.
Yeah, I do. Like I said, my main, bread and butter is my tech entrepreneurship work, and there's one that I was working on for an organization I founded called Afreneur, and it's in a prototype stage.
Okay.
I don't know when people are going to listen to this, because I don't know if I'm going to renew the hosting, but it's currently, as of today, 30 April, it's currently up. It's at www.afreneur.com, and it is a prototype, as in we're not raising funds for people as of yet. And if you for those who are familiar with crowdfunding, the concept is that someone has something that they need funds for, and they solicit the funds from people who are interested in supporting them online. And so when it's fully functional, the idea is whatever payment methods are accessible to the people's communities, like Airtel Money and Visa cards, American Express cards, whatever, PayPal, people will be able to give towards someone's campaign through that. So it is on prototype stage. I'm looking for investors for it, to take it from that stage to production. Um, yeah, and also I feel like this particular platform has a lot of potential, even from a national perspective, because there are people who are looking to start their own businesses here in Malawi and across the region, who don't have the finances. And if they were to have the finances, not only will they be providing a service or product that people need, but they will also be creating employment opportunities for others, which means that they have this platform has the capacity of positively impacting national development as well, economic um, gains as well. So yeah, that's what I was working on, and I'm waiting to see if I can find like-minded people who can help take the project to the next phase.
Oh, all the best for that. And you can also share
Thank
the
you.
link. I'll share it in the description of this podcast. So, like,
Thank
when
you.
Yeah, it will be really helpful for that.
Thank you
So,
so much.
so do you have any ideas about what can be done by Malawi to maximize the opportunities for economic growth using technology?
Yes, I feel that even as of now, with the existing infrastructure that is there here in Malawi, and also, what Malawians can tap into online, there are opportunities for employment for Malawians that can be um, taken up, and that is by using the existing talent markets like Upwork, freelancer, etc. As individuals, looking for opportunities on there. But I feel like if the government or organizations that can facilitate uh or support uh workers, if they were
Right.
to provide, like, for example, if the government was to set up agencies that help with the issue of, for example, writing proposals for work that people are applying for, that can give other people the opportunity to get the work, because I know a lot of technical people who are amazing at the technical aspect of what they do, but when it comes to like pitching themselves and writing proposals, they really really struggle with that and are likely not to get the job. Now, if they were helped by organizations that can do that for them, so that they focus on actually doing the work, and these organizations get a cut or a commission from the work that they do, I think that's a win-win. And if it was government doing it, they have the biggest uh, uh, you know they have the most to gain from it, because they'll be creating the jobs that they said they were looking to create last a year. That was a campaign promise that they kept on making, that they wanted to ambitiously create about 1 million jobs in Malawi within their 5 years. And a lot of naysayers now are saying no, it can't be done. They know it doesn't look like things are being done towards that. And I feel like, perhaps quite naively, I feel like it can be done if government was focusing on digital opportunities, on the talent market. They could create thousands of jobs for people by, getting contracts for call centers to come to Malawi as well. They could get lots of opportunities for Malawians who do, technical work in software development, or um, you know uh, other areas, whether it's writing or teaching. Or we have a lot of Malawians who speak uh English and some other languages, that would be in a position to teach people online, or just to communicate with people online and other things. So there are so many opportunities Malawians are equipped for, and not just in Malawi, other emerging markets that still haven't tapped into the digital marketplace. And all I'm saying is, if they were to be supported, whether by government or other organizations, these people would be able to not only get jobs that take care of themselves, but they will be able to add positively, economic.
How do you manage to do all of that these as once? And also, like, any career advice for young people out there who are like starting out different things and trying to help the community like you are doing right now?
Okay, how do I manage to do all these things at once? Well, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. I think what happens is, I kind of oscillate between the different things that need to be done. So, and that's not deliberate. What happens is, I will focus on the priority, and then end up taking a break on one thing, and then focus on the other thing that has a priority, and then just keep going around in circles like that. I haven't discovered balance yet. I know some people do know how to balance, and that's something I want to work on learning. Um, there was the other question, career advice, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Which
yeah.
you asked. I would just say, especially for basically for anything, curiosity is a must. And especially for tech, because everything keeps advancing so fast. There's always something new. You think you figured out one thing, and then you discover that there are new advancements tomorrow. So I would advise anyone to stay curious, always keep learning, always keep adapting, as you keep learning, and also connect with others and share your ideas. I think for you and I to be talking right now on this podcast, it's because I reached out to your company at some point and asked them a couple of questions, and then we started talking on a few things, and then here you guys are inviting me for this opportunity, and that's because we connected. And I think that is one of the best things that anyone can do in any career, to keep connecting with like minds and keep sharing your ideas and keep learning. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so great to hear from your end. So yeah,
Wow.
thank you so much for coming and joining our podcast.
Thank you for inviting me.
So today we talked about how developing economies are entering the digital world and grabbing all the opportunities they can. How entrepreneurs like McLean are helping out with their new ideas and innovations. We're going to end this podcast on a beautiful poem written by McLean. Thank you everyone. Stay safe. Goodbye.
The universe inside. They say we live in a universe, and I say that's a lie. I say there is more than one universe, at least one in each you and I. The systems in and of themselves working for our good, from how our bodies synthesize food to how the mind makes things understood. From brain to hands, from mind to plans, from love to clan, from God to man, this here is not one being. This in me is a collection of the living.